man was just trying to get a sip of water during his flight, but suddenly he noticed something strange. His fingernails were turning dark, almost black. As a doctor, he instantly recognized the symptom: severe hypoxia. His body wasn't getting enough oxygen. Before he could react, the water bottle in his hand began to warp and crumple under pressure, and the glass on the tray table started to shake violently. Even the flight attendants realized something was wrong. One of them rushed to her seat, buckled up fast, and shouted for passengers to do the same, but it was already too late. The next second, the plane hit a massive turbulence pocket. The water in the cup floated into the air, zero gravity. The cabin had lost pressure, and those who hadn't fastened their seatbelts were yanked from their seats by the sudden rush of air. Chaos broke out as the entire cabin shook violently. Passengers were frozen in fear, clinging to their armrests, praying they'd survive. In the cockpit, the pilot immediately sensed the emergency and secured his oxygen mask. Inside the cabin, the overhead oxygen masks dropped automatically. Passengers scrambled to get them on and breathe. But Jack's wife wasn't so lucky. Before she could get the mask on, the lack of oxygen caused her to pass out. And what no one knew was that a young girl was in the lavatory when it all happened. With the violent turbulence, she couldn't get the door open. Trapped and suffocating, she eventually collapsed on the floor. Meanwhile, Jack, desperate to save his wife, stumbled toward the flight attendant's station. He managed to find a portable emergency oxygen tank and quickly strapped it onto his wife, just in time. She began to breathe again, escaping death by a thread. Then, as suddenly as it all began, the cabin pressure began to stabilize. The turbulence stopped. Flight 7500 had somehow survived the ordeal. To calm everyone, the captain made an announcement. He explained that the plane had flown through a powerful air current, which triggered a storm and caused damage to a cabin seal. That's what led to the sudden loss of pressure. But the crew had taken emergency measures, and they were now lowering the aircraft's altitude to stabilize the cabin. Passengers finally started to breathe easier. Not long after, a flight attendant found the unconscious girl in the bathroom. Panicked, she grabbed a spare oxygen tank and got it on the girl. Miraculously, she woke up. It seemed like the nightmare was over, but no one expected what came next. That's when a middle-aged man began gasping for air, as if something invisible was choking him. The real disaster had only just begun.